Oh, this is going to be one hell of a non-stop debate. Let's hear what Genocide Jill has to say about this.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone.
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking.
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely. What more proof do we need? Give it up. You killed her.
Wow, she is having the time of her life up there. But something still doesn't sit right, and with the truth bullet that we have, we should be able to figure it out. Another thing I should mention about white noise. What is it exactly? Well, just imagine if there was a big group of people, and while somebody is talking, you and the person beside you were having a little mini conversation. That's what the white noise is supposed to represent, what everybody is saying under their breath or saying to another person. So some of these white noise statements can get really, really funny. So before I shoot them down, try to take a look at what they say. Some of them get hilarious later on. But Genocide Jill...
You say that, but do you really expect any of us
I'm really gonna have to take your word for it. I mean, even though you're absolutely cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, there's something that doesn't fit around here.
When you compare your past
And
murders to
going
this
with
incident,
the truth bullet that we have...
the modus
Hey,
operandi...
Byakuya! Boom!
No, that's
You're wrong!
Are the methods of murder really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Thank you.
Huh? How's it any different?
Uh-oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you!
Whoa, hero. Bit below the belt there.
I murder with passion and conviction.
And a lot of blood.
I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things. Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee. This is no creation of mine.
Let me rephrase that, in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Well, one of the things we can infer from it right off the top of our heads, if we were to take a look at the old case and the current case, well, it was actually how the person died.
I got it! For one, the cause of death is different. In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way.
Brutally.
According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors. But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
We already figured out it was the dumbbell that killed her.
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method? And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's right. In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce.
Now I'm just hungry.
Could you please stop comparing killing people to cooking?
So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
That's exactly right, Taka. If you were to take a look at the pages from the Genocide Jack file to what we actually saw, well, there is a very, very huge difference, actually. The difference is... well, what was used to suspend her?
I got it!
No scissors.
Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrists.
What is your point?
Well, In all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them.
Pointy, hurtful things.
Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
And guess what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement.
Really?
Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else?
What else?
Big Mac said there's 2 differences, but he's wrong.
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
I'm at least number 1, right?
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
Huh?
What could she be talking about?
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case. There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
Well, now that you're showing off all of your secrets, let's try to figure this out.
A pattern?
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
Let's see. Go back in the file, and we find out that the cause of death is different. Chihiro died to a blow to the head, not razor-sharp scissors. She is suspended with a rope and not scissors. So looking back in the file, take a look at the names, take a look at the pictures. Every single victim has one thing in common. So Genocide Jill couldn't have killed Chihiro because she was a girl.
I got it! Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Ding ding!
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
Woohoo! What do I win?
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
Ken, Tetsuhiro, Shoji, Kano, Takeshi, Komatsuna, Takafumi, Uchida, Takashi, Yuto. Yeah, they're all guys.
They were all guys?
That's right! The people I kill with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men!
Oh, Lord, I'm gonna die!
I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
The hell is wrong with you?
A lot of stuff.
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl, and the mopey side of me just hates it. But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam!
Oh my god.
So since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
Wow.
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid.
God, it's time for lunch.
I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. But that's not all there is to it. It's a different matter entirely, when you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lowly cur!
Oh!
Lowly? Cur?
Ha!
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival.
Wait, really?
And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect.
That's a really good point.
That does make some amount of sense.
For a crazy woman, you're really brilliant.
Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school?
Ah, there we go, Hifumi. Where are your scissors?
Any scissors?
Huh?
I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class, envy of the entire world scissors!
Well, I hate to break it to you, but they're not here.
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
So...
Are you sure about that?
Huh?
Da-da-da-da!
Oh no.
She's fully equipped!
Hifumi, you first!
That's right! So I can kill anywhere, time! Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side?
It would make us feel better.
Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong. You can't, can you? Gutter dogs, all of you!
Oh, shoot.
Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. So rope's totally out of the question anyway.
I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
It's weird to think about, isn't it?
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Yeah. That's why we figured it had to be the real deal and not some copycat killer or whatever.
Yep. I started suspecting as soon as we were given all that information. There is one person who knew about this other than the killer. So now for big decision time. Who could it be? Well, given all the evidence, there's only one person I can think of. Hey, Byakuya!
Here's my answer.
You're a little suspicious.
Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened, hadn't you?
Uh-oh.
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
Pegged him!
Then the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was
To cover his own tracks.
because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
An easy target.
So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it. The adorable glasses man was behind it all. Oh, I'm on fire!
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me.
Uh-oh, he's playing it cool. What's he got?
Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Looking back and thinking about it now,
Well, when you basically dragged me by my neck to the different rooms, that may have been a good indicator.
the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
That too. You were the one that pointed out where the body was. Such a suspicious looking room. No, it wasn't.
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy,
Maybe he's just into that kind of stuff.
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
But how did you know the victim was Chihiro?
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
Ah, come on, Hifumi, work with me.
on the contrary, there's something very strange.
How did you know?
Okay then, what's so strange about it? Go ahead, share with the rest of the class.
Oh boy. Alright, Byakuya wants me to play rough. If we're gonna peg this crime on Glasses Man, we need to push through his rock-hard demeanor and his amazing defense. We gotta find his contradiction. But now we have a new rule to the non-stop debates. And this one I do not like one bit. It is something called Truth Flashback. Basically, what'll happen is you will see different statements as you normally would during a non-stop debate. But the point of it is to use a statement elsewhere. So let's say you have a truth bullet that is completely useless. Using this new method, pressing the triangle button on a statement that could be used later, that becomes your truth bullet. You will memorize that statement. This is where it gets somewhat annoying, but absolutely brilliant. it takes up the spot of your truth bullet. You only get your one shot, and then you have to go back and get that statement again. Basically, it is to phase out the useless truth bullet you get in this run and turn it into something useful. So, good idea? And a bad idea. Thankfully, we can use flashback whenever we want, and as many times as we want on any statement. So, that's where the difficulty comes in. You can use it on any statement to use as your new truth bullet. So you're going to have to pay double attention to the contradictions and what statement could be used against that contradiction when you do find it. Oh boy. Oh, this is where it's going to get fun. When will we use flashback? Well, we'll see if we can figure it out. Yeah, we have to use certain points. You have to use flashback, or else you're not going to get anywhere. All right, let's do this.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So, of course, I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions. What's so strange about that?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
Now, as an example, and since this is the first time we're using flashback, they only gave you one wrong statement to use as your truth bullet and the actual statement you need to shoot. So I'm going to say right now, we are going to steal the very first statement, and we are going to use it on the other statement that needs to be shot. So,
you said
using
Byakuya
this,
was acting kind of weird before we found the body.
and it does take a little while
But
to
he
get
was
it,
acting weird...
we now have the truth bullet before we found the body.
Presented with the opportunity
So
to
now
check
the
out
fun
the
part comes
girls'
in.
locker
We
room,
need to shoot it at the right
You
time.
absolutely
And
take
thankfully,
it.
they didn't
That's
put
a
in
natural
any white
reaction
noise.
for
That would
any
have
guy.
completely ruined it.
The victim was Chihiro.
Yep!
No, that's wrong.
How did you know, sir? You're wrong!
I'll tell you what's so strange about that.
Yeah!
Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was.
Getting sweaty yet?
So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit.
He's unaffected and everything. What's up with this guy?
Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
Oh, come on!
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead. Show us.
Have you noticed he's getting a bit more defensive? He's really going on the offensive and defensive to make sure we don't get this right. He's a tough guy to get through, too. Byakuya's fighting back. That's what's up with him. Maybe he just wants us all to die, I don't know. Maybe it's because we beat him. He was trying to win this game the entire time, so wouldn't you be like, well, I'm gonna fight till the very end. I want to win.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is. I think.
Ah, come on, Makoto, don't falter. With a guy this tough, you need to be able to put up a good offense.
There is more to it. Think about it.
Yeah, come on, Kyoko, back me up here.
We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
Why, yes. Tight-lipped. We got a battle of the minds here. We need to outwit Byakuya. It's not easy. But we do have one more thing up our sleeve to counteract what he is suggesting. Something else we need to use to convict him. We do have it. It doesn't seem like it, but we do have it.